Today, let's talk about the importance of getting a colon cancer screening. Early screenings are beneficial to help detect colon cancer in its early stages.
But what is colon cancer?
Colon cancer is a tumor that forms in the inner walls of your large intestine, also known as the colon. The colon and the rectum are the last part of your digestive tract, so we often use the terms colorectal to describe both of these organs.
Oh, okay. But you mentioned something about a screening. What did you mean by that?
Screening tests look for diseases before you have symptoms. Colorectal cancer screening is a way to check for cancer of the colon before you have any symptoms. It also looks for growths known as polyps, and polyps can ultimately turn into cancer.
So you were saying that I might have cancer or polyps without realizing it?
Yes, that's right. This is why it's so important to get screened. We want to be able to detect cancer as early as possible.
I never thought I could have cancer. Could I really be at risk?
Yes, you actually can. In the United States, about 1 in 20 people with average risk, just like yourself, can develop colon cancer. Your risk of developing it gets much higher if you have a personal history or a family history of colorectal cancer, polyps, or inflammatory bowel disease.
Wow, I never knew that. So when should I get screened?
Normally, about 9 out of 10 colon cancers happen after age 50. Because of this, it is highly recommended that all adults 50 and older get screened regularly. But if you are at a higher risk, you might need to come back much earlier.
You said regularly. How often should I get screened?
It really depends on the screening test that you decide to do, and also basically if any polyps are found during the procedure.
So it sounds like there's more than one option for screenings, right?
Exactly. There are several ways to check for colon cancer. But I think it's best if we just go over the most common screenings and you can decide which one is more convenient for you. The two most common tests are a colonoscopy and a stool test. During a colonoscopy, a small tube is inserted inside of the rectum that allows the doctor to actually see the entire colon with a small camera. One of the advantages of getting a colonoscopy is that if the doctor finds polyps, they can use small tools at the end of the tube to help remove them.
How can that camera show polyps? I thought the colon was usually filled with, stuff.
Good question. Before the procedure, you'll be given a special liquid that causes watery diarrhea and cleans out your colon. Don't worry, everything will be fine.
If I do need to get the colonoscopy, what do I need to do to prepare for it? And what would happen the day of the procedure?
A few days before the procedure, you'll be given a low-fiber diet. So no whole grains, nuts, seeds, dried fruit, or raw fruits and vegetables. The evening before the colonoscopy, you will drink the liquid provided by the specialist that will clean out or flush your colon. It is then that you need to avoid any solid foods and only consume liquids like chicken broth, water, black coffee, clear juice, preferably apple or white grape, Jell-O, and or popsicles. The day of the colonoscopy, you're required to be dropped off and picked up by your caretaker or relative to make sure you're well and safe before and after the procedure. You will be given medication that helps you relax while your doctor performs the colonoscopy. If the results come back negative, you should repeat the test every 10 years.
Okay, that doesn't sound too bad then. Are there any risk with this test?
There are some. Colonoscopies can cause bleeding or tearing inside of the colon in about 1 in 1,000 people. But remember, if you compare those risks to the ones of being diagnosed with colorectal cancer, the chances of something going wrong during the procedure are much smaller.
You're right, but I also want to know about the other test you mentioned, the stool test.
If you don't know, stool is another word for bowel movement. And since cancers and polyps often cause some rectal bleeding, the blood usually hides itself in your stool. The stool test that we provide is called the FIT test. A FIT test is performed at the comfort of your own home with no needed preparation beforehand. If you decide on this test, we will provide you with a FIT card and instructions on how to collect the stool sample. I know that some people may get a bit squeamish about collecting the sample, but I promise you, it is rather quick and pain-free.
And what happens if the FIT test does come out positive?
If that happens, we will need to further evaluate your colon and send you off for actual colonoscopy. We need to know the source of the blood because although it may be an early sign of cancer, it can be also something less serious.
So what are the advantages to getting the FIT test if either way I'll need to get a colonoscopy?
There are plenty of benefits. As mentioned before, the FIT test can be done in the comfort of your own home. So no need to take time off from work, coordinate transportation, or any preparation beforehand. Also, if the FIT test does come out negative, there wouldn't be a need to get a colonoscopy. Just remember, you have to come in every year to repeat the FIT test.
I am very forgetful, so how would I remember to get the FIT test every year?
I know it can be difficult to remember, but you do get a flu shot every year, right? That can be a great reminder. Every time you come in for a flu shot, you can ask the provider for another FIT card. The way I like to think about it is by asking for a flu and FIT appointment. Also remember that you are not alone. We do a great job at keeping track of patients who are due for these tests and send reminders every year.
I see. Before I make my decision, are there any other tests that screen for colorectal cancer?
Yes, there are, but those tests are not nearly as used as much as the FIT and colonoscopy tests. The important fact is that we want you to get screened. The earlier we can detect the problem, the better and more effective our treatment options will be.
I agree, doctor, thank you. I'm sure no one likes the idea that they may have cancer, but I know how important it is to be certain. I am definitely choosing to get screened. For mine and my family's peace of mind, screening is the way to go. Thank you, doctor.